To another Saturday morning sports talk with Kevin, Zach, Tom, and Terry. We're chowing down on some Mitchum's Kitchen. But I think most of all, Tom, we need to tell them about our friends at Shelby Heating and Air. Don't you think?
Well, that was a quick intro. Throw them to the wolves, JP. Good morning. How are you?
Well,
Give me 1 second. Now we'll let since that's what you wanted, we're gonna let Tom do it. Do his thing.
All right. Want to remind all our listeners that Saturday Morning Sports Talk is brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com, for all your heating and air needs, Kevin.
So, good morning again. Back to JP. Did you have a good week there, sir?
Yeah, it's a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What anything big go on for you? You can adjust the camera a little bit if you want. Say hey to all your fans. You know you got JP groupies that on the YouTubes and stuff. So you got to keep them happy.
I doubt that, Kevin. I seriously doubt
happy, that. JP. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Saturday morning sports talk. We got a bunch of things to talk about today. First of all, Terry, your $39 is worth more than making you happy, isn't it? Is that what you just said a minute ago?
Yes, it is.
I just want to make sure.
It is.
Tom, and your shenanigans. Tom's been traveling the world. Did you have a good weekend or week or whatever else you did, Tom? Did you survive the New Jersey
We went. It
ferry?
took me a little while to understand that when you walk by somebody in Philadelphia, you don't say, "Hey, how you doing?"
No.
Like in Shelby, that's just what you do. But even people you don't know, how you doing? Philadelphia? No, don't do that. Don't try to pet anybody's dog in Philadelphia either. Like, you know how in Shelby, somebody's got a dog, you just go pet the dog. Don't do that in Philly. But other than that, and the way people drive is...
Who let him out of the house?
That's what I'm talking about. You cannot. He can't order food, right? He can't do anything. My God.
Accosting dogs in Philadelphia.
What we did is we did it different this way. We actually did I wouldn't exactly call it a studio. It's a little bit bigger than a studio apartment, but we rented it out. We got the big city life, living in your little apartment, walking upstairs every day. But we had a good time. My wife and daughter had never been to see where the Constitution was written, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, the Liberty Bell, and all the good stuff in Philly. Now, how much do you think it costs to see where the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution was signed?
Should be free.
$5.
$1.
That's about to say.
Okay, let's get ready to say.
Guess how much it is to see the Liberty Bell?
Should be free.
Free. So I mean that we didn't go to the Constitution Center. I kind of regret that.
No wonder you took your family up there.
Yeah. How much was?
My God.
How much were Belgian waffles?
I bet
for
you
3 at the Fancy Fresh restaurant. $63. We did. The cuisine's pretty good in the big city though. We ate at a Fancy French restaurant, fancy Mediterranean restaurant, had some lamb. That one wasn't too bad, maybe $42. But you gotta eat these good places, Terry. I know that you'd probably still be looking for the Wendy's.
That's not what I'm saying, Tom. I believe you. I bet you had sponsors to send you up there. I bet you went out and got sponsors.
No, I did not have any sponsors. I didn't have any sponsors.
Before Tom left Shelby, Terry, he Googled how long a barbecue sandwich will stay fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Filled
up 12 bags of barbecue sauce.
The thing that put a damper on it was it was so hot. It was hotter up there than it was here. I mean, we stopped at Mount Vernon on the way up and wanted to enjoy the grounds, but it was so hot you couldn't enjoy it. It was like 96 degrees. But we toured, General George's place. That was cool on the way up. We wanted to do Monticello on the way back, but it was so hot. My wife was just like, "Take me home." It's because we were, it's a walkable city. Philadelphia is, and we walked down to the ferry. That was kind of cool too. We crossed the Delaware ferry, and there's this. They do have a really killer aquarium in Camden, New Jersey. Now that's the only thing in Camden, New Jersey, but that aquarium is pretty cool. I mean, it's just right across the river. So we did that 2.5 hours. And as a science geek, I'm a history geek, so we just had a geek trip, Kevin.
Well, that's cool. That's my kids are watched Night at the Museum and the what's the Nick Cage one, National Treasure. Now Austin wants to go to Washington and see everything now, so he's into that. I was particularly interested in your trip across on the New Jersey ferry because my brother-in-law's wife is from there, And so we had family that rode on it now when we were there, we went up for a wedding, and we were there during the remnants of one of the hurricanes that actually reached up there. We couldn't even go out. We thought when I say their house is on the beach, Tom, I mean, there's a sidewalk and there's the sand. Like, we are on the ocean. It was hurricane force winds the whole weekend. We couldn't even go outside and enjoy the beach at all. But one of them took the ferry during this. And she said it was the worst trip she's ever been. They were scared for their lives because, the hurricane winds out there when they were doing it, and the water was so choppy. But I was going to ask you about that. You said it was kind of empty. So
well, we got on the ferry.
I wanted to ask you
literally
about that.
Literally, there was me, and the people were friendly, but they were from California. They were like, "Oh, are you from California?"
You didn't try to touch their dog, did you?
No, these were like people riding the ferry. There's some people from, and there were some other people I can't remember. They were from Texas.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to listen to the Texas people. I think it's very common amongst Texas people to brag. They're kind of got a little bit of New York in them. Of course, it's hot, and we had to listen to 5 minutes about how this wasn't really hot. It's hotter in Texas, and da-da-da-da-da. So I had to listen to that while waiting on the girl to open it. But literally, the ferry seats 500 people. There were 7 people on the ferry. 7. And I'm trying to get down there. Like, Anna's like, well, Daddy, we can go on a ferry ride. I want to go on Anna plans a trip, by the way, Kevin. But, he's like, I want to go on the ferry ride. So I was like, okay, we'll go on the ferry. Better get there early. There's only 500 seats. We got a metro area, a couple million people. There might be, God knows how many people are going to Camden, New Jersey today. So we get there. The ticket booth is closed. Nobody's there. I'm thinking, have they shut this thing down? I mean, there's nobody there. Then eventually here comes the ferry, and I go up to the guy, and there's 7 people on it. And you make a mistake. Don't ask questions of people up there either. I was like, sir, is this crowded on the way back? He goes, it's during a week. We can hold 500. It's during a week. We don't have that many people. It's like, okay. I guess that means, around here it says, no, sir, there'll be plenty of seats available. Not up there. They have a little different edge to them, don't they, Terry? They're not friendly.
I have no idea.
Terry,
Tom.
would you wear a Cowboys jersey in Philadelphia?
You should.
Would you wear a Cowboys
I
jersey?
should.
Yes.
We should have checked Terry with
Go
us.
ahead.
Yes.
This is authentic North Carolina here, guys.
Yes.
So we got all kinds of things to talk about this Saturday morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. Stay cool today and this weekend, please. We've